Some of Scotland's most impressive and most difficult mountains to climb are found on its Hebridean islands on the western seaboard. And the weather here can be fickle, making the ascent of these tricky mountains even more difficult. And they're often very, very steep. Join me on this adventure today as I head up 3 of these mountains on the west coast of Scotland. Oh, good morning. It's early. It's not even 6 AM yet, hence why I'm sounding a bit rough. Anyway, just a very quick bit to camera. I'm still at the house. I'm away to jump in the car. I've got a 3-hour car journey ahead of me, but it's going to be 5 hours until I can start my walk. So I'm going to be to get the rest of my stuff into the car and get going on the road to get to the other side of Scotland to catch a boat. And I'm hoping to do 3 mountains over the next couple of days. I'm going to have to take my tent because it's going to take me a bit of time to do these mountains. So yeah, let's go. So I headed off nice and early from my base in Perthshire and basically travelled the width of Scotland all the way over to where I was catching the ferry on the west coast. And it was a long drive. It took over 3 hours to get there. But eventually get there I did, and I parked up, and yeah, I was quite excited for the adventure ahead. All I needed now was to find the ferry. Right, that's me arrived 3 and a bit hours later. You can probably see the sea over there at the place to catch my ferry. I'm about the other side of Scotland, and the ferry's in about half an hour, so yeah, it did take quite a while. It's quite a windy road coming down here, but the next step of the adventure is now to go and catch the ferry across to the island where the mountains are, so let's go and do that. The ferry that I was catching today was a passenger ferry. There are other ferries you can take over to this island where you can take your car, some of the Calmac ferries, but you need to do 2 ferry crossings to get to the point I was wanting to get to. Anyway, off we set down a fjord-like loch, and we were soon out on the open ocean heading towards the destination. Unfortunately the cloud was down, so I couldn't see the mountains as we headed across, but yeah, it wasn't looking too bad, to be honest with you. And after about 50 to 55 minutes we were approaching the ferry terminal on the island. Hello and welcome to Jura! We're here, and I've had an absolutely cracking start to the walk, or not walk, as I'll explain. So when I got off the ferry, I've not even got my poles out, I'm still holding my camera gear, my wee bag. I'm going to get my stuff sorted out here now. So when I came off the ferry, the next stage was probably an hour and a half road walk to get to the start of the walk. And I was literally just out of Craighouse, last few houses, and I heard an electric car pull up, and a lovely lady, and I'm assuming her son, picked me up and offered to give me a lift to the start point. So thank you very much. They did say they watched some of the videos, so if you're watching this, I can't thank you enough. That's made my morning and saved my feet on that hard tarmac. So I am now at the start of the kind of official route, or the most popular route up the PAPS of JURA. Don't know if I've said that's where I'm going, but that's where I'm going, and they're in the cloud at the moment. But I'm really hoping that, give it a few hours, this might lift. It's touch and go. There's a lot of thunderstorms on the mainland today. I'm just hoping that they don't drift over, but for now I'm going to get my stuff ready, have a bite to eat, and then get my walking poles and my walking gear and my walking mind into gear and start heading up here, because there's some steep slopes ahead. Oh wow, getting my first view of the 3 mountains now, and the biggest one, which is called Benanor, I think it's about 785 metres, and it's a Corbett. Another 2, I think it's Benanhulish, or Hoolish. Benanhulish is the last one. It's a bit lower down. The first one I can't pronounce. Ben Hate. That's the first one. God, I tell you, it looks steep. I don't know whether it's because it's closer to me. Let me spin you around so you can see what I'm talking about, but it looks imposing. Yeah, so it probably doesn't look too bad on the camera, but on your right, to my left up here, that's the first one. And I need to get up to a loch-in with their stepping stones. Then it'll be a steep pull up there. That's going to test me, I tell you that much, right? So let's go. Now let's just see how far I get before I have to put the tent up. It's a boggy old path as well. I was warned about this previously though. I've come up a wee bit further. When I say I've come up a wee bit further, there's stepping stones about 15 metres behind me, which I'll be going across. But I just wanted to come look at this loch. It's lovely, isn't it? Fantastic. And you can see the cloud isn't lifted any. So I have been taking my time, there's no rush. It's one of the things I do like about when I'm camping out, is the fact that I'm not rushing to get home or rushing against the clock. And I don't think I could go any faster when I'm going up here anyway, because it's going to be steep. I don't know if you can see that behind me. It looks blooming steep, and it looks like there's a lot of scree on the on the hillside as well. So it could be a bit slippery, slidery when I'm going up it. But anyway, right, just want to come and have a look at this. Let's get cracked on across these stepping stones and see if we can make our way, start making some ascent, shall we say, gain some altitude. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. Right, let's go back to these stones. Well, I've climbed a fair bit, probably about halfway, about 450 metres, so I'm more than halfway, but maybe halfway from the loch to the summit, which is down there. And I found this nice path. Well, I've not found it. The route comes up pretty broken ground with only remnants of a path, and then all of a sudden you hit this path, and it looks like it's going along, sort of contouring around the hill as opposed to up it. But I had a look at my map on the phone that I downloaded, and this is part of the route up, so I'm hoping, or I'm expecting this path to start going a bit more sharply uphill, because I've got about 300 metres of ascent to go. But yeah, things are looking promising. I don't know if you can pick it up in the camera, but it's getting a bit lighter. The cloud is still touching the summits over there, but I did see blue sky earlier on. I was going to stop and put my pullover on, but a wee tip that I sometimes use is, I can sometimes get away for a bit longer, but if I put my hood up, it just seems to warm me up a bit more. Strange, I know, but I'll keep my hood up and I'll go a bit further up, and I might put my jacket on in a wee while. So let's see where this path goes, and let's hope that the cloud clears so we can get some views to show you. Right, let's go. Stop yabbering, Murray. Let's go. So I was correct in my synopsis. The path did start to go uphill, and it started to go uphill pretty steeply, and the ground just got rockier and rockier and more tricky. And those screes were just energy sapping as I headed up towards the first summit. Finally, first summit. Hurrah! Yeah, so I tell you what, you can see where I'm going. Steep drop down here. We must just be touching the cloud at the moment, right? There's a wee circular cairn down here, so I'm just going to drop down here, maybe a wee bit of shelter. There's a wee wooden box here. Oh, I tell you what, I might have a coffee. Get my jacket on and have a wee coffee here. What I'm going to do. It's no rush. Right, so we had my coffee. I needed it. I tell you, I was pegging a bit coming up that slope. It was quite difficult. There was a path, but Where the path was, the stones were smaller because of all the footfall, if that makes sense, and it was just more scree-like and made it harder work. You were kind of sinking back into every step. Anyway, and there was lots of rocks, funnily enough, on a mountain in the west of Scotland. Anyway, the cloud is kind of, you know, I'm starting to get wee glimpses and views over to the other two PAPS. The next one is the highest, and it's a Corbett Ben Or. So I'm going to head down there. I know I have to be careful coming off here though, because there's some steep cliffs. I need to sort of, I think it was Chris Townsend's blog I read. I think he had to skirt round to the north a little bit before getting a ramp to go back down. So let's get cracked on. It is just after, see the time now, just after 3 o'clock. So I've still got about 5 or 6 hours of daylight. I'll just decide when and what time I'm going to pitch up. I think I'll definitely try and get to the top of the second hill and then make a decision on whether I'm going to go further on or not. Right, time to go then. Let's get this backpack on and we'll get tracked on up the second hill. Right, let's go. Okay, quick handheld piece to camera. Just come off the summit, you can see it behind me there. It's taking twice as long. You can't really trust any footstep. It's all wobbly rocks. The next bit looks a bit nicer, but I know there's a steep drop in a minute. I'll spin you around because I've got my first view of one of the mountains. You see the clouds skirting over the summit I was on, but if I spin you round, I can now see the third peak. That's Ben Hulish there, and then this is Ben Or. Just about clearing, so yeah. It'll take me a wee while to get up there, so let's keep our fingers crossed that this cloud lifts and we can get some views. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing something. Starting to see stuff around this way, if I spin you around. The sun is shining down in the lowlands, down at the seaside. Just not up in the mountains yet, but I'm hopeful. Right. Let's just take my time and get down here. The descent off the mountain was indeed very, very steep and care was required. And as per the description, there was a grassy rake that can be found which takes you around the difficulties of the cliffs. Anyway, I was soon down at the Bealach and the weather was improving. So I delayered and took my jacket off and started to head up the Corbett Ben Or, which was looking good. And I must admit the path up here was much, much better than the path up the first summit. The skies were starting to clear, but there was still a brisk wind blowing, but I was just taking my time. I was quite tired after the early start and carrying the heavy backpack up. Anyway, I was soon on the summit ridge with the summit in sight, and I came across these old buildings which reminded me of the ones that were on Ben Alder and Ben McDooey. I'm pretty sure actually they'll be remnants of the old Ordnance Survey workers as they had their digs high in the mountain for their triangulation works. Anyway, after doing a bit of exploring around these, I wasn't far from the summit of the highest mountain on Jura, Ben Or. Here we go. Trig point of Ben Or, which is the highest point, as I've said before, at 700, it's nice and chilled in here, 785, I think. So I'm just going to get a seat actually. So, in fact, I'll sit over here. It's a better looking perch for my bum. Yeah, so I've just been going ultra slow because there's no rush. And that path, as I said, was so much better coming up there. It was more of a normal hill path. Not the scree and the boulders like it was in the first hill. And yeah, the weather has improved, although there has, sod's law, there's a cloud coming in at the moment. I'm going to loiter here for a while and just have a look at the map and then decide on the plan of action, whether I'll go for the third peak today or whether I drop down and try and find a camp spot. Stay tuned. Oh, right, time to go. I'm still undecided on whether I'm going to camp soon or go for the second summit. Right. Let's make a decision soon. I'm back onto this treacherous rocky ground where every footstep's a potential broken ankle. So glad of the poles, put it that way. Okay, just an update. It's breezy, I'm coming down the ridge. There've been a couple of spots where I could have camped, but I need to get a water source because I'm nearly out of water. But I'll show you the lovely views behind me. The sun's back out, it is quite breezy, and this is where I've come down. And all this rock here, there's bits, small sections which are nice, small boulders where you can scree, you can sink in and do, not scree running, I don't scree run, but scree stepping. But I'd say 95% of it, the boulders are too big for that, and it's ankle breaking stuff. Progress has been so slow and it's so steep coming down here. It's not a place to turn an ankle, that's for sure. So I'm just taking my time. I think I can see some lochans, and I know there's a bigger lochan down at the Bealach down there, so I'll head down there and see if I can get a bit of shelter, because the wind's going to be whistling right through there if I can't. Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure I'll find somewhere, right? Still a couple of 100 metres to drop though, and that's tomorrow's objective. I think that is now what I'm going to do tomorrow. It looks, well it is, it looks and it is blooming steep, so let's see if I can get a good night's sleep before heading up there. The views were spectacular, but the ground was very, very steep. You can't tell it from here, so I picked my way down. I was still a bit worried about finding a camp spot, but I was headed for the Bealach anyway. Right, come down to the Bealach, there's tomorrow's hill, and there's a hill that's come down, or mountain. It's tell you it was tough. Anyway, I'm trying to find a pitch, and I think I found quite a good pitch here. It's not completely flat, but it's relatively out of the wind. I've got nice views over to the hills I've been up today, there and there. And just over there, about 100 metres away, there's a water source. So I think I'm going to try and set the tent up here, and yeah, I'll report back once it's up and I'm having my tea. Right, let's do this. Right, I've been down and collected some water. I always try and fill up as much as I can so I don't have to go down there again. So it's always quite tiring, but anyway, I'm quite tired myself. I need some food, so I'm going to get some food on to snout. I've just got a Wayfarer's chicken tikka tonight. It's not a dehydrated meal, so I don't need to add water to it. I just need to boil some water up and heat it up, which is fine, but it's absolutely glorious. I'm looking forward to just having a whiskey. Actually, I've brought some whiskey with me. I'm going to have this to eat and then just watch the sunset. Got a nice view over the western seaboard, just about out to the west. So I'm looking forward to this. So yeah, I'll report back after tea. Oh, this is lovely. The sunset's actually happening behind the camera in about 15 minutes, and I'll turn the camera around for that. But yeah, the view back to the mainland here, I'm back over the hills. I don't know if you'll be able to make them out. You'll be able to see the first one with the cloud just wisping across it. You'll not be able to see Benan Or, which was the core, but yeah, what a day it's been. And I think I did go really slowly today, but that's paid off because the forecast was an improving one. Had I been motoring along, I think I would have spent most of the day in the cloud and I wouldn't have enjoyed the views. It's certainly coming off the second hill, got some stunning views. So sometimes it pays to go slow deliberately. It's not all about going fast, especially as you get older. You get to my age, save the knees and all that. But yeah, the light's starting to go over towards the mainland. It actually looks like it's been pretty cloudy over there. And when I phoned home, apparently it's drizzling back home, whereas here it's just absolutely glorious. So yeah, let's go and enjoy the sunset, and yeah, we'll see what happens, see if we can get some nice pictures. There's a wee bit of haze away out west. There might be a band of cloud there, so I don't think we're going to get anything spectacular. It's always nice. It's always nice just watching the sun go down or lower. You sometimes do get nice colours and things can change pretty quickly. So we'll see. I'll hang around here and I'll come back to you if anything spectacular happens. I watched the sunset over the western horizon and then I just retired to my tent. I was pretty knackered and in need of a good night's sleep. Good morning. It's about 8:30. I've been up for about an hour. Well, when I say I've been awake for about an hour. And normal service has been resumed. Let me just show you what I'm looking at right now. I'll spin you around. There we go. Nothing to see here. Where once there was mountains and sea views, there is now mist. So the clouds down. The wind's dropped, there's a wee breeze, but nothing like it was, not as breezy as it was last night. So I'm going to eventually, I might just sit in my sleeping bag. There's no rush. The ferry back is at 4:30, so I'll need to be back down at Craig House for about 4, I reckon. So plenty of time. It's not going to take me long to get up to the top of the third PAP. And then it will be a couple of hours walk back actually. So yeah, I'll report back when I'm having my coffee, I think. For now I'm just going to chill in the tent and procrastinate. Right, I am now getting my stuff packed away. It's quite late actually, I think it's about 20 to 10. It is, yeah, 19 minutes to 10, 9:41. So I've kind of been waiting and waiting. The rain came on and the rain eventually went off, so I got up and I've had some coffee, a Scotch egg and a bar of Snickers for breakfast. And the forecast it's varied. I don't know, the feeling I've got is it could stay, this is going to sound obvious, it could stay like this for the rest of the day, i.e. the clag being in. But it's also one of those days where sometimes it just clears like within 2 or 3 minutes. There's a wee breeze blowing, so I'm hoping it's going to do that, but yeah, who knows, I'm not a clairvoyant. So I think as opposed to hanging around any longer waiting for any good weather to come, which might not come, I'm just going to get packed away and then see if I can get up this hill, and then there's still a bit to go to get back to the ferry actually, so especially with the clag being in, I'll have to watch my navigation. So let's just get everything away and I'll report back once the tent's down and I'm ready to start my travels. Right, I have put the tent away, as you can probably see, leave no trace. I don't know, I feel, well it looks just the same as it did the last bit to camera, but I don't know, I've just got this feeling that it's going to clear. I don't know, sometimes you just get slight deviations in the, in the light, and I think we might be okay. You know what, I'm going to make a prediction. By the time I get to the summit of Benahoolish, which is the third PAP on the round and the smallest, so I'm kind of glad of that. Depending, well, that's all, that's all depending on the height I'm starting at, to be honest with you. Because one of the things I didn't mention, although these hills don't go over 800 metres, they all start at sea level, and as I said last night, they've got a real mountain feel to them. Especially coming, especially the first two, and I'm assuming that the third one's going to be the same. Anyway, I've done enough procrastinating and enough kind of chilling, shall I say. So, time to get going, and I think the easy part's going to be getting up and down here. The hard bit's going to be trying to find the path. I'm going to try and get a different path back to the ferry. I'm just going to hope that the path that's on the map is there. Anyway, let's get this stuff set to go, and yeah, I'll report back later on. Right, I've come to the point where I need to start ascending steeply. I've been contouring around the hillside and there's not really much of a path. I've been trying to follow the suggested route that I downloaded from the wonderful Walk Highlands page. But what I'm going to do actually, because I'll be coming back down this way, I'm going to mark this location here as a grid reference on my digital map. I'm going to leave my bag here to make it a bit easier. Is that cheating? I don't know. Does that count? Does that constitute cheating? I don't know. Anyway, leave this here. Make the ascent and the descent a little less cumbersome on my knees and my and my feet. A bit nicer. You know what? That does seem to be clearing a wee bit actually. I think we might be in luck. Anyway, right, let's get my stuff sorted and yeah, I'll report back hopefully on the way up this hill. Been a hoolish. Alright. Of course, the one thing I was really wanting was more screes and more rocks. Anyway, at least I don't have the big backpack on. Oh man. Onwards we go. Pretty much straight up now. Oh, I don't know if the camera's picking up how steep this is. Pretty much straight up. Not a place for the faint of heart. Well, every now and again I'm getting wee brighter spells like at the moment, so fingers crossed for the summit. It might clear. Right, I've been backwards and forwards along the ridge here, and there's not really a trig point that I can see. Oh, so there's this nice wee jumble of stones here, which I'm assuming is near the summit. Not that it matters really, but the sun is starting to come out. Wow. I might have timed this perfectly. I'm going to sit here for maybe 10 or 15 minutes and just see if anything happens, see if the cloud... Yeah, it's not clearing. Every now and again it's threatening to, and I think it will eventually, funnily enough, but not in the time that I've got. I need to get back. I'm in a wee bit more of a rush, not massively, than yesterday, but I do have a ferry to catch, so I'm going to predict now that it's going to clear when I get back to my bag and off the mountain. Sod's law. We'll see. It might get a view before we get all the way down there. But let's go. Yeah, not much to see here. Time to head back down. As a definition of sod's law, literally 5 minutes off the summit, which is up there. It's starting to clear. I don't know if you can see behind me. Let me spin you around and show you. See all the way down that big lock, and I was just camped about there, just above it. Oh, cloud's coming back in again, but it's yeah, it's coming and going. But it bodes well. Hopefully. Get a view as I get down towards the bag so I can see my potential descent routes, of which there's a few. So yeah, let's go and hope I get under the clouds soon. Oh, what a difference an hour or two can make. That's me back at the bag. Anyway, I think I might actually head up another hill. I've got 4 hours to get to the ferry, and there's a wee hill here behind me which is kind of en route. Do a bit of exploring, so I'm going to take this jacket off, get my sunglasses on and my cap because I don't want to get sunburnt, and we'll get going and we'll see if we can go up this hill. Right, let's do it. I'll spin you around and show you the hill I'm hoping to go over. Yeah, so this hill here is the one I think I'm going to try and get up and over, and then head back down more directly towards the ferry terminal. So let's see. It looks quite rocky, so I'm not sure if there's an easy way up, but I'll go and investigate anyway. The weather was getting better and better, similar to the previous days, so I took my time again, although maybe I should have been going a bit quicker. Anyway, I headed up, and before long I was reaching the top of this little summit which had a magnificent view from the summit. I was so glad I decided to head up and over it. Oh, wonderful. I'm glad I came up this peak. The clouds steadily lifting. Been a hoolish, which I was up, you can't see it, is now clear of cloud, and been an or and very heaty behind me. Still got wee caps on them, but I think that'll clear. So spin you around and I'll show you what's round behind us here. Ooh, Right, I'm assuming this is the top of this little, this little peak. Fantastic, lovely, what a viewpoint. And this is called, let me just get my map, my digital map, and I'll tell you. It is called Ben Veersamel, and it is 506 metres. What a viewpoint. The view back to the PAPS of JURA is just fantastic. And there's more hills over here. I think these hills are included in the fell race, or the hill running race, or one of them is. There's 5 in total, so respect to those guys. So yeah, I'm just going to sit here for a minute or two, get the map out and just try and see if I can see my route down to the coast, because at the moment it doesn't look immediately clear, unfortunately. Right, just a quick bit to camera to show you the view this way, which I was talking about. Hopefully you can see that. And then over the sea, eastwards towards the mainland there, the other PAPS of JURA over here, and then westbound through to the, I don't know which way that is actually. I don't know if that's the Molokan Tyre. I was thinking that was that way. Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's westbound. I don't know where I am. Need to get the map out. But anyway, it's a rather fine viewpoint. What a place. Oh, right, I'm on my way. More rocky ground. I can't see a path. I can see where it's meant to be. Or maybe I can make it out a 4x4 track. Anyway, still a bit of rough ground to go before I get that far down. Oh, just a progress update. The cloud is now cleared. The top of the PAPS. It's glorious. I've literally just found a path. Looks like a land or an ATV track. It's been pretty pathless, and I'm a bit worried about the timing actually. I need to get a shifty on, because it's a couple of hours till the ferry goes, and if this ATV track doesn't take me to where I want it to take me to, it's going to take me quite a bit of time to get back. So I'm hoping I'm not going to miss this ferry. Really hoping. So let's put this camera away, and I'll report back a bit further down. Right, let's go. A bit windy, but I think that there, if we can focus, is the Isle of Arran. And then away down here is the Molokan Tyre. I don't know if you can make it, let me just make this a bit darker. Oh, there you go. I don't know if you can make out, almost in the middle of the picture. I'm not sure if that's, I don't know if that's maybe Northern Ireland. I'm not sure if that's coming out or not, but something away down there, and it looks like it's beyond the Molokan Tyre, but I might be wrong. I might be wrong. It's happened before. I think that could be Ireland. See it better with the eye than the camera. What a view though. Not bad, eh? Right, let's get down and get this ferry. Whew. After a wee bit longer, I soon found myself down on the shore, down by the sea, and there was a lovely cool breeze just wisping in off the sea, which was very welcome. Well, as if this couldn't get any better, look at this lovely white sand beach. Ah, so nice. What a way to get back to the jetty. I didn't know this was here, so yeah, it's running for a few 100 metres, so I'm going to continue along here. I just wish I could take my boots off. I mean, I could take my boots off and paddle my feet in the sea, but I just don't. I'd be cutting it fine for the ferry then, so yeah, I'm just going to plod along the beach and enjoy it, and just, you know, imagine that my feet are in the water. What a place though. Right, let's go. Right, that's the ferry boat behind me. I've made it with 20 minutes to spare, and what a trip it's been. The weather's been better than expected. And what can I say about Jura? Well, I'll be back, that's for sure. I wasn't I was looking forward to it, but the over expectations, shall we say, the mountains were absolutely fantastic. Much better than I thought, and they were proper mountains as well. Not that I was thinking they weren't, but because of their elevation, I expected them to be a bit easier, but I tell you what, they were tough. Don't underestimate the Jura, the PAPS of JURA if you're coming to do them. Anyway, I'm going to go and catch the ferry, so I'm going to end the video here. If you've stayed this far in the video, thank you very much for watching. As always, stay safe out there, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Right, time to catch this ferry. Or not. Whoop. Just opened up my Ring doorbell app. Hello. Welcome to Rum. No, it's not in Rum.